All right, Big Mag, today is Wednesday. It's March 8th. Welcome to the Dog Walk, presented by Barstool Sports. Free Swim Wednesday. Danny's here, Chief's here. Boys, we got fucking flamed online for last week's episode.
Look, I'm sorry I don't know who Elizabeth Olsen is. That's a blind spot for me. Although, was it Marvel's?
Yeah. And that's what they said that to me. I've been on LCB a bunch, and they're like talking about the Marvel universe. And at one point, they were like, "Oh yeah, like it's weird to think that there are people who are completely oblivious to that whole universe because there's been a gajillion movies."
That's my biggest problem with it. Like, I'm not opposed to giving it a shot. I don't know where to start. Like, I started Game of Thrones way late, which is outside of my historic comfort zone. But I knew, like, hey, this is episode 1. Like, this is how you know.
I think they'd say start at the first movie.
There's like, there's too many.
Like 18, right? 22.
Well, there's like Iron Man 1, then they got the Captain America, then then the Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah, but if you look up MCU, you'll be able to see it all.
For the record, Elizabeth Olsen says she doesn't want to be associated with her sister, so I was just respecting her wishes.
That was nice.
My
of
bad.
you.
That was nice
but people were acting like we didn't know who like The Rock was.
Yeah.
I was
like, that's enough.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a peep out of the Olsen sisters. They've been out of the spotlight since they were 11.
Just
Sorry, I wasn't keeping up with their family.
Yeah,
Olsen, very common last name.
Totally.
Yeah, it could have been Greg's.
Yeah.
If she shows up at the exactly. If she shows up at the Oscars with a twin on each arm, then I still miss it, then I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll be doing the walk of shame.
Yeah. But she's just a person with a common last name who also happens to act.
This should go over well on the internet.
Nope. Looks like there's a multiverse saga.
See, this is what I mean. It's just, you know what?
Right.
And it is not my type of movie. Like, one of the movies that I believe is nominated for Best Picture is that Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
I have not yet.
Because you hate the Irish. But
wow.
But it's
so close to
that to me is like, that's more my style of movie. Just people sitting around, kind of like this show. Just people sitting around chatting, talking about their lives.
Yeah, I'm not like against Marvel. I've seen 3 of them. How many have you seen?
Probably like 7.
Okay.
7.
0, I think.
0?
I haven't seen any of the Iron Man. But like, this is the other thing too. I'm like afraid to talk about it. That's how little I know, because I almost said Batman, and I think that's the other one.
Oh wow, yeah, it's DC.
That's DC, bro.
And that's like a rivalry, right? Yeah. So that I've seen the Christian Bale Batmans, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like, per Wikipedia, the Infinity Saga, which is like a lot of the ones you know, and then it looks like there is the Multiverse Saga.
It's just too much. What are the Avengers?
The Avengers look like they're in the Infinity Saga. They look like they blend, though, maybe? I don't know.
This is what I mean. It's like...
The nerds hate us.
I'm just going to go back to sports. You know? It's like... Because I was thinking about it, like, oh, maybe like, because this is the time of year, the Hawks are fucking terrible. I'm not a big NBA or college basketball guy until that first weekend, of the tournament. Like, this is a time where I usually catch up on things that I've missed. And I was like, you know what? It's too much.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch chronologically. Just as long as I'm entertained from start to finish, I'll be fine.
But they're not chronological? They don't have one to do with the other?
They do.
I think they do, yeah, because then they all meet in the Avengers. Harry, do you watch this? Can you chime in here?
Similar to Danny, I've probably almost seen 10.
So like the last 2 Avengers, those are like the biggest ones. I hadn't seen, like I said, I saw probably 7 total. I still thought they were wildly great.
That's what LaShawn McCoy, my dog, Tony Stark. Remember that?
No. Oh. Yeah, Iron Man dog. Tony Stark's Iron Man, right?
Yeah,
I know a little bit.
Oh God, you're gonna get a worse for that.
I got it right.
Exactly. Before we continue, we do want to talk about our friends at RHOBACK. Chief and I are wearing the hats right now. RHOBACK Activewear, their performance hoodies, joggers, and polos are simply the best fit, best feel, just all around the best.
The logo is a silhouette of George. I'm convinced. The ears are the same. The body, George is a little fatter than this dog, but that's basically my dog, and I love RHOBACK.
You like the feel?
Like the way that it's hard to get. Like I've got a shit ton of hats. I've got like 4 that I wear because I like the way they fit on my head. RHOBACks always fit nice, so I love the RHOBACks. And all their athletic wear is great. All of it's great.
They recently restocked their performance joggers, and they're incredible, functional, versatile, and comfortable. These joggers check off every box. Perfect for a day on the move or a recovery Sunday. You'll never want to take them off. RHOBAC's performance hoodies are the most comfortable hoodies out there as well. With this spring quickly approaching, RHOBAC hoodies are your answer. They really are. They're very, very, very thin and very,
like
just
that.
breathable. Use code DOG on RHOBAC.com for 20% off for all new customers through the end of the week. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and polos with code DOG. Just in time for the spring, so make sure to check them out at RHOBAC.com.
That's key. This is a very difficult time of year to dress. You got to be loaded up on joggers and hoodies because you just never know. Because it could be 75, then it's going to be 12.
Yep.
Windbreaker season.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. So go check them out. Only last throughout the end of the week, so you got to act fast. So yeah, that was like fresh on my brain because that was all out assault on us.
Yeah.
Stooley's Clubhouse, who runs Vila Stool, like texted me and was like, "My bad." Didn't think they would react like that. I was like, another day at the office.
Yeah, used to that.
Yeah. And then I think Dana had one later on.
Oh, I missed that one.
Well, like he was like, how the hell am I finding out that Ed McCaffrey is Christian McCaffrey's dad just now? Yeah, and I'm like, wait till you hear about Elizabeth Olsen, dude.
Wait till you hear about Jess Margera.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the McCaffrey, well, maybe it's just because I pay attention to sports more, but I feel like the McCaffrey story is like, they've talked about that for like 12 years since like Tom Rinaldi talking about his mom's a soccer player at Stanford.
Yeah, like to me, that was bad.
I thought
by
so.
Dana.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know.
But it depends on what you're in. But he's like a sports guy.
He is.
So
like he's a very good dozen trivia sports guy player.
Yeah. And if you know both of them, it feels like you should have at some point gotten the knowledge that was the lineage there.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the dozen, I'm on the bubble here for the All-Star game.
I feel like I don't know. You and Clem splitting votes?
Yeah, maybe. You can only one guy can make it.
Per team?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys, like, statistically.
Well, yeah.
When does ZD turn into a fucking wagon? It's kind of annoying, to be honest. Maybe Frank the Tank's right.
Turn into a wagon when we got Dave and he made us stop second-guessing ourselves. It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth because you
need leadership. We
were constant people of like, boom, we'd say the right answer. Then someone would be, well, it could be this guy. And then it's like, you're right. And then me and Clem are just like, yeah, just go with your answer. Just go with your answer.
The
second
niceness fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was just like a nice guy. And we would just say the wrong answer all the time. If you watch some of our old matches, we were always right there.
Yeah.
Like, we were always right there. We would just have heartbreaking losses. So
well, and like you are a memory person. Like you have one of the better memories of the person I've ever met in my entire life. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, but it's nothing useful, unfortunately.
It's useful for trivia.
Yeah.
So 7 point something points a game. I feel like that should be an all-star berth. I'm not even in the running either. I was an all-star last year.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You were. You guys are good though, dude. You're a good team. You're just like similar to us. Like ZD was never bad. I would always use the tweet, ZD ain't bad, because we would always lose at the end. Like you guys are like sniffing around, but you're having a bad year.
But like I feel like I'm at 6. You know, I don't want to throw my teammates under the bus, but
they're not pulling their weight.
I mean, if you got one guy getting over 6 and the other guys are, dragging ass, like if we had, you guys have 2 guys getting 7.
Yeah.
If we had another
Carl's
guy
good.
getting what?
Carl's good though.
He's in the 5s.
Is he?
Yeah, and some generous ones.
But he's traditionally someone you could rely on, I would say. Like, in the end, in my opinion.
How is it being on Portnoy's trivia team? You feel like Steve Kerr on Michael Jordan teams?
Well, it's funny because, like...
He's the worst player.
Right.
Yeah. But he's also so vital to our team. Like I just said, we weren't...
He's a system final answer guy.
Yes.
That's what he's a system final answer guy.
He gave you the confidence.
Yeah.
And he's been getting a couple questions right lately, and they've been like big moments.
Yeah.
So he's getting there. I feel good about
you guys do have like kind of all the bases covered because you're like kind of a Hollywood movie history buff. And you got sports, and then you guys get all the food questions. It's like...
Yeah.
Those are the best videos from Portnoy just going crazy. You guys getting all the stuff.
The snack question.
It's like my new guilty pleasure videos.
Yeah.
That and the The sheep shaving.
My big boys. My big boys.
But something that goes unnoticed with ZD too is we've had 8 matches. Half of them have been live, and it's fucking hard live.
Yeah, it is. It is harder live.
ZD should get. I do feel like ZD should get a little bit more.
Like live shows on stage.
Yes.
Wow, that's
4 of our 8 matches have been on
this year
on the stage this year.
How many has Team Chicago had? Like
live?
Yeah,
I think. Well, the tournament, does that count as live?
Well, this season you guys had 1 in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, which I wasn't there because I had COVID.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and we lost.
Yeah, but there's so many good players though.
Yeah.
Like
I think Minahan is like
he's sensational.
Yeah,
obviously.
he was on Snake Draft this week.
That's what he said. Me and Minahan, Jeff said on the Snake Draft, me and him we're battling for MVP.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, congrats.
So we'll see. I don't know. You still got to close out the season strong. So
yeah,
a lot way to go. But
it was a nice touch because when they bring you in for the All-Star game, he embroiders a little star on your collar. I'm like, damn, I feel like a fucking general. I'm a trivia general.
But yeah, our match was fun last week. You guys were way off on the True Blood question. I don't know if you went back and watched it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It
was Dave, that's classic Dave, just argued tooth and nail.
But I'm gonna blame it on that Riverside, the app. Like I was having all sorts of issues on that, but we did fucking put that on a silver platter for you too.
Yeah.
Which team would you say is like your biggest rival, or it gets the most heated? Would it be Team
Chicago? That's where all the feuds are.
Civil War.
It's like the old. What was that? My dad used to tell me a story about like the old Oakland A's. It would be like 25 players, 25 cabs out of the stadium. Like nobody really got along, but then they came together and won. So that's kind of how we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Except we don't win.
But you're still like, whoever plays in the first round, like you're not an easy.
Oh, we're the team nobody wants to play.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I think we are.
Well,
even though we've never won a live match.
Yeah, you guys are great live. I was going to say that. You guys struggle live for sure. Because it's a different dynamic, dude. You got fucking bright ass lights in your face.
I think mine. I think if I'm about 6 points per game, I think I would get that live as well, and I think I have.
Okay.
And so again, not throwing teammates under the bus, but some guys struggle with the bright lights.
This is.
Some guys are Showtime, other guys aren't.
I don't know. Is this going to be looked frowned upon, or are people going to say you're motivating the locker room?
I'm trying to get the guys ready for the. We need better performances ready for the playoffs.
I'll say it. Dave sucks live.
I do think it's funny how like Jeff insists that there's 2 cameras on Dave.
Yeah, people can't see that.
Yeah,
people can't see that. But
so they always accuse him of cheating, like not cheating, but it's like no, we have a system in place for that.
Yeah,
now.
people can't see that.
Wait,
shit.
still while he's doing like even Skype?
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, there's like 2 feeds on Dave.
We hopped in, and Portnoy is like, "Why do you have 2 camera angles, Dave?" And one is just pointing at his fingers, and his keyboard. And he's like, "Oh, because you're a fucking cheater, aren't you, Dave? White Sox Dave." So it was funny.
Oh wow. So is he's still on his computer though? He's just not.
Yes,
he's got a phone and
he's
the
got
computer.
the angle at his face, and then he's got a different
Yeah.
computer that just the camera goes straight to his keyboard and his fingers.
That's what happens.
And he has to sit back, I feel like, too. A lot of measures.
Yeah.
Just in solitary.
Yeah.
Jeff he's a couple months away from putting him into fucking Hannibal Lecter straitjacket.
Can we text him and get that to happen? Be like, you could play, but you have to be in a straitjacket.
Oh my god,
it would be so funny.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah,
dude.
It's great how serious Jeff takes it. I remember when the second time Dave cheated, and I had to like interrogate him with the light and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, "Is there any way we can get a camera up there behind him without him knowing?" I'm like, I don't know. I'll see. I'm kind of afraid of what we'll accidentally
see if
get.
I can break into his house and put a nanny cam in there for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna expense a polygraph for you.
Oh, we should get a polygraph.
We've tried, right? Dave had like some weird conditions. He was like, "You can't." He was like, "You can only ask me stuff related to work."
Yeah, well, that's fine. I would love to ask him stuff related to work.
Could you imagine him asking him a personal question? He just rip it off and just like storm out.
But then, like, there's the lie. It's clearly incriminating.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Would you take a polygraph?
Yeah.
Do you think you could pass one?
I don't know. I think I would just
tell the truth. But it's all about like.
It's like the Costanza. It's not a lie if you believe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So it's like if you're calm right? Isn't that how it works?
I believe it's all about your heartbeat and your reaction.
See,
to
like
stuff.
that's weird to me, because I think, like, put yourself in that situation where you're getting questioned for something for murder. I'm gonna have an elevated heart rate,
100%.
even if I'm 1,000% innocent.
I think that's why they start by like asking your name, so they get a baseline of like how nervous you are mixed with you telling the truth.
Yeah. Okay.
But still, there's got to be sociopaths out there who could easily pass that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do they allow those as like evidence in court?
I don't believe they are. They do them.
Yeah.
And it might just be like an extra added thing, but they're not permissible.
Yeah, because they're at police
right
stations.
Yes.
But then they don't. I don't know.
Is permissible the right word?
Admissible? Permissible or admissible?
Permissible is the right word.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Permissible means permitted.
See, this is why I wouldn't be on Team ZD.
Well,
Because I had it right the first time. You questioned it. Then I was like, no, it's permissible. And we would have got it wrong.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right, though, dude. I have you ever thought about that, really? How much it must suck for people who are in the clink wrongly?
Yeah. I mean, Kim Kardashian has like dedicated her life to that.
Yeah.
So, because it is like, or Andy Dufresne, like that, like, I didn't fucking do it. And now your life's over. Because it's, even if you get acquitted, you're never going to be the same.
No.
Yeah.
And people are always going to look at you like, oh, like, yeah, but I was wrongfully accused and I got out after 10 years or whatever, but it was proven that I didn't do it. I would still be like, yeah, but you probably did it.
Yeah,
something's wrong with you.
Now you got a face tat trying to get an office job.
Yeah, right, exactly. So they like literally, it'll ruin your life.
I know, but you could frame someone so easily on shit. I feel.
I think you probably used to be able to. Now I don't think so.
It's
I think
hard.
well, I don't know, because technology is like incredible.
I know.
So I there's been like these deep fakes going around of like people saying like, it's almost like, remember those like bad lip reading videos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then now they can make it like so precise, and it's like, that looks like, and I saw one with Joe Biden was like talking about some woman's ass, and it was like, obviously it's fake, but it looks fucking real.
I saw that. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I saw one, they did a Joe Rogan, and he has like this supplement called Alpha Brain.
Yep.
And it was like something called Alpha Mind, and they like just morphed it perfectly, where he was like, go buy Alpha Mind on Amazon.
Well,
and it was like his competitor.
That combined with like that Chat GPT,
Yeah.
where they could be like, do an ad read, how Eddie would do an ad read. And then they'll be able to like take all the data of every ad read you've ever done and spit it out in a way that is a deep fake that looks like you with your voice and the way that you would deliver it.
I know.
It's fucking wild.
It really is.
Yeah.
But, dude, you think it would be that hard? Like, you don't think it's plausible that some like murderer could like take like the knife and just slip it into someone's winter jacket who's like walking in front of him? Like that shit.
Objection, circumstantial. I think it would be hard to frame someone for murder in this day and age. I do.
Cameras are everywhere. Everyone's got a Ring doorbell.
Yeah, but at the same
Every
time,
street's got one.
what about the people who walk up to the murder? Okay.
Like you're just wrong place, wrong time. You're a witness. Yeah,
exactly. Like that thing could happen. Like I forgot who was telling the story, but there's a story of a guy who, I don't know, I forgot, he had some type of delivery job, and he was like, he saw the door was open, so he walked in and he saw a heinous crime scene, and like the guy.
Yeah, I don't even know what you would do.
Right.
You got. I mean, I guess call 911 and call a lawyer.
Yeah.
But then they're like, why are you calling a lawyer? You guilty? I'm like, no. But I knew what you guys would think I was guilty, so I was getting ahead of so
exactly.
You're fucked no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic.
Sounds like you've given this a lot of thought, framing somebody for murder.
you
So
got
who are you
something
planning
in
on murdering
you
and
got
who are you
something in your
planning on
closet?
framing?
No, I am afraid. I have given a lot of thought that I may be framed someday. That's what I've given the thought of.
Eddie's been planning a lot of trips for us, going different places. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, he just fell out into the Grand Canyon. He
by
just
the way,
fell into Lake Michigan. Yeah.
I kind of got to get out of the state for a little.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're going to be framed?
I don't think I'm going to be framed, but it's an irrational fear that it could happen someday.
Mm-hmm.
It's an irrational fear.
Yeah.
It's like the tube slides. I don't like tube slides.
That's more legit, I think.
Yeah, because I think someone's gonna put like a big fucking wine cork at the other end. I'm gonna be stuck in there.
Dude, I mean, if someone like, I remember, because people have had accidents and injuries with that. Like if you just fall off, if you're in one of the ones that has a tube, like you fly, and if you go around a bend and fall off the tube, then you're not going as fast as what's coming behind you. They could smoke you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't like water parks in general though.
Yeah.
It kind of grossed me out.
Really?
They got to be 50% pee.
I've been thinking about that because I went to the Russian bathhouse last week, 2 weeks ago.
I think that's different.
But the cold plunge pool, it's probably pretty dirty. They clean it out. They drain it every 24 hours.
Oh, that's it?
Yes.
Oh, that's not good. That's not enough.
But how often would you want them to drain it? They're not going to drain it every fucking hour. People are using the service.
How big is the tub?
Morning and night.
Like fits multiple people?
Yeah.
So it's like a hot tub situation?
Correct.
Kind of, but the opposite?
Yep. I would say it's
I thought hot tubs were never going to come back after COVID.
Really?
Or just pools in general.
I was all bullshit all over that. Remember when people said the handshake was dead? Fuck you.
No chance.
I knew that was shit was coming.
I wonder, has there been anything from COVID that is like a permanent reality?
Yep.
What is it?
One thing, and it's that some places never opened up indoor seating again. And they just like became like carry out only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a ghost kitchen kind of thing.
And one thing that was they just like were like, yeah, you know what? I kind of don't like indoor diners. Like,
yeah,
we're doing fine on carry out. We'll just become a carry out only place. That's less prevalent than shorter hours.
Okay. Yeah, the business hours have changed.
Yeah, that's true.
100%.
But I feel like we're trending back towards
that being a thing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, they also realize they can work less hours for the same amount. You know?
I guess I was thinking more like about 9/11, where like you used to just be able to walk up to your gate pre 9/11.
Right. Run on a plane.
Right. And there, you know, if there was security, it was very lax. I mean, I was young, so I think I was 15 when that happened. So I don't know how many flights I was on before that. But I don't, you see it in the movies too. Or like movies from like the early 90s or whatever. They're like running through the airport or Home Alone.
With water bottles and shampoo in their hands.
Yeah. Can you imagine Home Alone 2 or where they're racing through the airport? Or like we got a 45-minute line in security. It's kind of takes some of the excitement out of it.
That's crazy that we never went back to that we're still doing the 2-ounce shit, the 4-ounce shit.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, it's because that fucking shoe bomber guy.
Yeah.
You know, he tried to put explosives in. Richard Reed tried to put explosives in his shoes. So, I don't know.
Speaking of business hours, I was here till like 1 a.m. last night, and I remember I needed fucking toothpaste before I went home.
Brag.
I was making my own vlog, so it doesn't really count. But then I was like, fuck, like maybe I'll go to a gas station. Then I realized the CVS by my place is 24 hours. How unnecessary is that? They had like 4 employees in there till,
Oh, I think those are the places that are very necessary.
Yeah, I think those are necessary because once people know that you're a 24-hour one, people become loyal to that just because.
Yeah, because what if you're having like what's the movie with Will Smith where he gets like the
I Am Legend?
No. It's a dating Hitch, where he gets like all inflamed and he needs a Benadryl. Like, what if it's 2 a.m? You need a Benadryl? You have to have you have medical emergency places where you have to get stuff.
From a business standpoint, I can't believe that they're having like 4 employees there in the wee hours of the morning.
Well, maybe they have been shutting a lot of those places.
They have. It has been. They've gone down for sure, but. Dude, school projects and shit like that.
I mean, I am for it. I was just shocked to see it. School projects. I mean, most CVSs still open at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, but if you're up, you don't remember that feeling, being like, "Hey, mom, like you got to take me down to."
I wouldn't do it past 10 p.m.
Oh, I've been in a bad spot.
Oh yeah, and that's where, like, I'm telling you, I have a Walgreens in my brain that I go to specifically because I know it's 24 hours, even though there's one that's a little bit closer to me.
Really?
It's comparable.
They're both Walgreens?
They're both Walgreens, yeah. It's comparable distance.
Yeah. But
at the same time, I'm like, hey, I just know that one's 24 hours. That's my Walgreens because I can go there.
No matter what, they got me.
No buzzer beaters.
Exactly.
You know what sucks? That Starbucks at North and Wells, I think it used to be the only 24-hour Starbucks in the city. That's no longer.
You're right. That one.
Yep.
The second city.
Where the old men play chess.
McDonald's. Yeah.
Some heated chess games there.
Furiously writing their sketch. So that's a shame.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something that has really affected the world, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is the business hours.
Yeah.
Have dwindled. It's unfortunate too.
But part of me thinks that that's actually a good correction. You know, like you ever seen another movie reference, That Thing You Do? Great little movie.
As a
Tom
kid,
Hanks?
yeah. It's
Tom Hanks. He's like the manager for this one-hit wonder kind of band called The Wonders. And
The Oneaters.
The Oneaters, yeah.
That was fucking Brandon.
very-
That was Brandon Walker's niche in Arizona.
What was?
The movie That Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's a really, I think it's a really, I've seen it probably once or twice in the last 5 years. It's a very good movie. But there's a line where like one of these ancillary characters, the dad was running like an appliance shop. And he was going on some like kind of dad complaining thing. He was like, I don't know if I want to live in a country where I have to be open on a Sunday. And I'm like, you know what? There's something to that. And look at our guy, Jim Graziano. He's like, you know, he could probably sell a gazillion sandwiches on Sundays, especially during football season. He's like, you know, everybody needs at least one day off where we're just shut down. And I think that maybe that's the thing, like more of a focus on work-life balance.
Here's a hot take. If there's one day that I would like to be off for the week, it's Sunday.
Does that change if there's no football on Sundays?
He wants to go to church.
Yeah, right.
No.
No?
My first job ever, I worked just Sundays, and it was hell.
Yeah.
I hated it. Like, I'd rather do like a quick, it sucks. It's not preferred to work like a quick 7 to 3 on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, it ruins your Friday night, whatever. But there was something that was supremely shitty about losing your Sunday.
Yeah, so I had a job where I worked at a health club. It was in college years after I retired from the factory. And that I had the morning shift, so I had to get there at 4:50 on Saturday and Sundays. But I was done by 11. I didn't think that was that bad, actually. But I think I've probably always just been a little bit less social than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've like always had to work Sundays before this job. At the bar, brutal. Having to work while people are watching games.
Yeah. Do you agree with me or no?
Yeah. Well, it's tough because like obviously I think I'd rather have a Saturday off to go out, but it does suck having.
You couldn't go out after your Saturday.
Okay, it does suck more having to work on Sundays.
Eddie just wants to have the first day of the week off permanently.
Oh, fuck you. Asshole.
You re-pissed him off.
But
What was that from?
Jim, George Cars is from Gale Street Inn. Like, we had a long conversation, and he was saying how it's also just the world too, where people used to get off the train at the Blue Line and they would go and they'd have dinner at like 10 p.m. He's like, now, like, people are eating dinner at like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, everybody's old.
Yeah, and he's like closing the doors at 9 because it's like people just don't eat as late anymore. So I think that's also the
fasting.
world is shifting too. Maybe.
Yeah.
There could be something to that.
Yeah.
Although I feel like New York people, that's one thing that I like about them. They are, like, I went to dinner with PFT, and we went at like 9:30.
Place is packed.
Yeah, and they're just not afraid to like.
Well, I feel like they also have the happy hour culture too.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, like let's go out for drinks, and it's like, oh my god, it's 8. Let's see if we can get a table somewhere, and then you get dinner at 9. You know, like, and the night kind of just gets away from you.
Because Dan, like there's restaurants in the city where it's very hard to get reservations at, and you'll only see like the only times they have is like 9:30,
9:45.
Yeah, exactly, 9:45, 10 o'clock, and you ask people like, hey, that's all they got. What do you think? It's like, no, it's too late. It's way too late. It's like, dude, just fucking alterate your meal schedule for the day.
Right, I could do that. Like on a Tuesday, a 9 o'clock dinner. I could do that.
Yeah, and I understand like you don't want to eat so late, like whatever. But at the time, you could make an exception.
Every once in a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, switch it up.
Even I've done that where it's like, hey, this is the option. So
yeah, and you go to bed at what? 7:45.
I did legit in Colorado. I did go to bed at like 7:45.
Come on, 7:45.
I was so tired from that skiing that I was just, and like I was in the time zone, so it was like 8:45 for my body, and then you're skiing all like it is. I was so tired. Sore.
What's the exact time you wake up every morning? 5:09. What were you saying?
Yeah.
Did you still wake up at 5:09 after going to bed that early?
I woke up at 3:50.
Oh my god, the devil's hour.
Yeah,
you gotta go back to bed.
But I stayed in bed, but I like could not fall back to sleep, and I actually did that Sunday morning. I woke up around like 3:47.
Jesus,
Yeah.
David Goggins over here.
But like, yeah, for real. But like, only I just stayed in bed. He did. I didn't do an ultra marathon.
You didn't get hard?
Yeah.
Stay hard. Sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies.
I was just counting down
David.
I'm like, can we please just have like a foreign soccer game start here soon so I have something to watch instead of like fucking infomercials.
3:50. Is that what they call the Devil's Hour? Really?
I've never heard of that.
No, well, 3 to 4. I think 3:15 specifically. You ever seen the horror movie? Whenever the clock
3:15.
strikes
I was
3?
going to say 3:15. Amityville Horror is when the house used to.
Even I think in
I
like
haven't seen that either. That's another blind
Paranormal
spot.
Activity, Insidious.
3:15 was the time.
You ever think about how The Conjuring was based on a true story?
Yeah, I do. That's one of the best.
And how that could actually happen at any moment.
There's actually a Exorcism movie coming out with Russell Crowe soon.
Based on a true story.
Yeah.
Really?
Like I wanted to get into that more with Father Foley or like just a priest in general. But
Bring him back. I would love to have that conversation.
I know. I'm definitely gonna have him back at some point.
Should just turn Fridays into religious Fridays during Lent.
Just have like
Sit around not eating meat and just talking about the Lord.
Exorcisms.
How many people would listen to that? Especially after last week when we just fucking said nobody's going to church anymore.
I went.
Oh, you
Whoa.
I went. I got kind of bullied into it, but it was. I went to that one on Southport, like St. Alphonsus, some like German sounding name. They actually do like a German mass, and big crowds. A lot of single people in their 20s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Your theory was true? Was there a lot of attractive women?
I would say there was a few.
What made you go?
Someone I know had.
Oh God, I'm not gonna feel bad.
No, their grandmother passed.
Oh, okay.
And they were having like, I don't know, they were grief stricken. So
Gotcha.
they wanted to go to. I'm like, all right, I'll go.
How was it? They played a Ave Maria or what?
They had 3 priests, so they were doing like a little
The 3-man weave.
the 3-man weave. You know, you get the Eucharist, you get the homily,
Sheesh.
and I don't know what the other guy was doing, but it was
They didn't have 3 priests.
3 priests.
bro.
No, it was a
3.
deacon for sure.
Wasn't it
Well,
a tall,
I don't know what the
you
difference
think it
is.
was like
Catholic school.
A tall altar boy, maybe?
No,
Not
the
confusing?
altar boy was in white. He was there too. They had 2 altar boys and 3 priests.
3 priests.
They had a pickup basketball team out there, and yeah, I thought it was. I don't know. I was.
You sing?
I don't sing, and I kind of like mumble the prayers. Yeah, but I do the kneeling and the sitting and the standing. And,
I mean, if you're standing while everyone's kneeling, you're an asshole.
dude, they might do an exorcism on you.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, hey, buddy, you can't
like
just stand up all
Yeah,
mats.
you start rising.
Yeah, but yeah, decent crowd.
Levitating.
Decent crowd on a Sunday morning.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I'd like to know more though on that. So maybe we'll see.
What do you
But I
mean?
feel like it's rude to ask.
Why?
What? About exorcisms?
Yeah.
I interviewed a priest before and asked him.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he
Well,
say?
I told you before, my sister's friend went and did something in like Thailand or something too. He was doing like religious studies and he talked to a priest who had done multiple exorcisms. And the priest said he personally witnessed like a Japanese woman who was possessed speaking in German. One time an old lady, every time he does an exorcism, they bring 2 bodyguards with, and like an old lady basically just pushed each big guy with a hand. And then someone was just, like breaking their knuckles in front of him. I mean, they're documented, they're real. Whether the person's just insane or not, it's up to you. But I don't know how you answer like a Japanese-born woman just randomly
I don't
picking up
know.
German.
I'm calling bullshit on that. I think
That's
but,
okay. You're gonna get possessed, dude. That's how you do it. You're fucking with the devil right
But
now.
I actually, this is. I know we'll never do this. I would be so down for Religion Fridays. I took like a philosophy religion course. It was my favorite class I've ever taken. It's fascinating. I don't believe any of it necessarily, but I find it like important and interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting for sure. I was going down to Devon Sunday, and this part of Chicago is called Little India, and it morphs into this predominantly Hasidic Jewish population.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
They live right next to each other.
yeah, and it pushes up against the neighborhood, and it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how
they go all out.
All right.
Like,
See you Friday. Religious.
first chapter, the devil.
We'll see. Do you know what I saw this weekend? Cocaine Bear.
How was that?
Dude, pretty good.
See it in the theaters?
It ain't Goodfellas.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was entertaining.
Was it funny or scary?
Funny.
Funny.
It was definitely a comedy.
Was there deaths?
Yeah.
Funny deaths.
Is that funny? Is that funny?
Did you see it, Harry? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the cocaine bear fucks people up.
I think
You don't
we
say.
saw the preview for that when we were in 80 for Brady. And we were going into 80 for Brady. I'm like, this is going to be the worst movie of all time. Then I saw that preview and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe this will be the worst movie of all time, Cocaine Bear. But you're saying it was fine.
Yeah, so what I think, usually I give I do like a grading scale for the movies. I think this year, for 2023, I'm just going to make it like a NCAA power rankings, and then whoever gets bumped, just moves down a spot or whatever.
Okay.
And then at the end, we'll know what the
Who
best
is in
movie is.
I mean, Oscars are in a week. I feel like you should. That's a blog before the Oscars.
Yeah, well, but it's going to be for next year.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
2023.
How much blow did the bear do?
A lot, dude. That fucking bear was ripping through cocaine.
Really?
Yeah.
Eating it, right?
Who was his dealer?
Yeah, would they just have a
Well, we did a
spoilers.
podcast on this. Remember that guy in the plane who was dropping it in the woods?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. In Arkansas, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, this was in, I don't know, maybe they fucked with the state, but this was in Georgia, and maybe it was the same guy, maybe it was a different guy.
Yeah.
But they were doing bag drops from a plane, and the bear was just tearing through these bags.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yeah. I'd recommend it, though. If people want some mindless 90 minutes of entertainment,
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
Okay.
All right, next on the
When I
list.
need mindless entertainment, I just pull up TikTok. Speaking of the airplane thing, I blocked that today too. Did you see the guy who had a mental breakdown, almost like he needed an exorcism on the plane?
Oh, no, I saw the headline, but I haven't clicked yet. I was waiting to.
At what point are we like, all right, this guy might actually be possessed?
I don't know, but I was watching it, and there were three middle-aged men, probably 40 to 55, sitting directly in front of him. Didn't blink. They're just some fucking crazy guy. And they're just they're just whatever. And they just pretended like it wasn't happening. It was that's kind of there's so much, there's so many crazy people now that you don't even really bother.
Well, what was he doing? Just screaming?
He was screaming that his name was Balthazar. It's not. And that he's the son of Dracula. He was going to kill everybody on the plane. But if you want to just run away with your hands up, he won't kill you. He's sitting in an exit row, which that made me feel like he could just pop the door open. But then he got up and he was holding something, and he tried to rush towards the cockpit. He's like, now that I'm taking over this plane, then he's like, where's Homeland Security? They should be shooting me right now. And it was very frightening.
I don't like how
it's like
quickly,
a 2-minute video.
I don't like how quickly he came up with the name Balthazar. It sounds
Seriously.
like a perfect name for Dracula's son. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
He's like, my father's been destroying the world for a long. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And
Can we get a priest?
There was one comedic relief part. Someone a stranger 4 rows back was like, hey, you're scaring people. He's like, shut up, Jason. And it was this generic looking white, he was totally a Jason. That's just shut up, Jason.
That would be terrifying if that was actually his name.
Yeah. That part was it's kind of funny. Made me laugh.
Do we have an exorcist on board?
Yeah.
It's the #1 blog on the site right now.
Oh,
Good.
There we go, Chief.
Good job, Chief.
Thanks. I haven't been blogging as much lately, the last 6 weeks or so.
Well,
Need
there you
those
go.
page views. Yeah.
Come back.
Yep.
Come back. All right then, guys. Good to talk to you. Tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow is episode 1000 of the Dog Walk.
Wow. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And it's, I'm still in the process of stitching everything together. It's basically a homecoming for a lot of people who've been on the show. I wasn't able to get everyone, obviously, or else it'd be an 8-hour show. And people,
some of them are arrested. Some of them are.
Yeah. I'm going to give some updates off the top too about who I reached out to and whatnot. But
we should get that the puzzle mounted. And
mounted.
put over on
Yeah, I
that
do have a
walls.
poster of it somewhere here too. One thing I will tease though is I was able to get Big John the Mailman, of
Fuck
course,
yeah.
and it's the return of the Porn King, and I got them in the same
He's back.
the same pod, and it was very funny.
Good.
Very funny,
Maybe that's what, I don't know since this is 1000, but some other milestone episode, we just do a live one.
Well-
And it's just you pack everyone in and it's just chaos.
Originally, I wanted to do a party.
Yeah.
You know, like just have everyone call. Maybe I'll do that for the 5-year anniversary, which will be
Okay.
next
Okay.
January. That'd be good too. Or like another milestone, but like a live show is good too to bring all these people up, because that's the goal. Like I was like, yeah, I could have them on individually, but I want to see what happens when Big John and Porn King get on the same Zoom call. And I don't think it disappointed. So hopefully you guys don't think so either.
Yeah.
But episode 1,000 tomorrow. And that's it for today, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment on the YouTube. And we'll see you tomorrow for 1,000.